When we hear exorcism, many of us might think of Catholic priests doing dramatic rituals to kick out evil spirits. You know, like in movies where there's holy water, prayers, and a big fight between good and evil. The scene is set with priests, candles flickering, and mysterious winds. But is that what exorcism is really like? Today we are diving into the enigmatic and age-old customs of exorcism, a ceremony that has fascinated human minds for centuries. Regardless of whether you lean towards the supernatural or approach it as a historical curiosity, exorcism's impact on diverse religious traditions is undeniable. Join me on this captivating ride through the historical chapters of exorcism in three major world religions: Christianity, Islam, and Hinduism. I assure you, by the end of this video, you'll gain a fresh understanding and admiration for the spiritual rituals that have molded these distinct belief systems. Firstly, let's discuss the concept of exorcism within Christianity. To truly understand the roots of exorcism in Christianity, we turn our gaze to the pages of the Bible. Early references to exorcism can be traced back to both the Old and New Testaments. In the Old Testament, we find instances of spiritual cleansing and a casting out of evil spirits. However, it is in the New Testament that we witness the emergence of a more structured and explicit discourse on exorcism. The Gospels, particularly in the accounts of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, provide vivid depictions of Jesus engaging in exorcism. These passages lay the foundation for the Christian belief in the authority bestowed upon Jesus to cast out demons, setting the stage for the development of exorcism rituals within the Christian tradition. Jesus, often referred to as the Great Exorcist, played a central role in the development of exorcism within Christianity. Numerous accounts in the Gospels highlight Jesus' encounters with possessed individuals, showcasing his compassionate yet authoritative approach to liberating them from demonic influence. These stories not only emphasize the power of divine intervention, but also establish a precedent for exorcism as a vital aspect of spiritual healing within the Christian faith. With the growth of the Christian community, there arose a demand for a formalized approach to exorcism. Over time, the Church developed precise rituals and prayers aimed at confronting and expelling evil forces. The Ritual Romanum, a Catholic ritual book, details the procedures for exorcism, highlighting the role of trained clergy in executing these sacred rites. This development served to standardize the practice, offering a structured framework for addressing spiritual afflictions. Throughout history, Christianity has been marked by many notable exorcism cases. From the famous exorcism of Robbie Mannheim, which inspired the novel and film The Exorcist, to the documented cases by renowned exorcists like Father Gabriel Amorth. The narrative of exorcism in Christianity is marked by both skepticism and fervent belief. These historical instances underscore the enduring importance of exorcism as a transformative and contested element of Christian spirituality. As we transition to Islam, we find exorcism deeply ingrained in the teachings of the Quran and the Hadith. The Quran, Islam's holy book, contains verses addressing the expulsion of evil forces, stressing the power of prayer and seeking refuge in Allah. Additionally, the Hadith, a compilation of sayings and actions of Prophet Muhammad, provides further guidance on the practice of exorcism. These sacred texts form the foundation for Islamic beliefs in confronting and warding off malevolent entities. In Islam, the responsibility of performing exorcism often falls on trained religious scholars and practitioners. These individuals undergo intensive study and training to understand the complexities of spiritual warfare. The role of the exorcist, or Raqi in Islamic tradition, involves reciting specific verses from the Quran, using prophetic traditions, and seeking refuge in Allah. This collaborative effort between the individual seeking relief and the skilled practitioner reflects the communal nature of Islamic exorcism. Islamic exorcism rituals are deeply rooted in the recitation of Quranic verses and prayers known as ruqya. The process typically involves the recitation of specific verses and supplications over the afflicted person, stressing the power of divine words in dispelling evil. The use of water blessed with Quranic verses, known as ruqya water, is also a common practice, showcasing the belief in the purification properties of the Quran. Turning our attention to Hinduism, the concept of exorcism is deeply interwoven into the fabric of ancient scriptures, such as the Vedas, Puranas, and Upanishads. These sacred texts explore the cosmic order, the interplay of good and evil, and methods for spiritual purification. The Atharva Veda, in particular, contains hymns and rituals for protection against malevolent forces, showcasing the early roots of exorcistic practices in Hindu tradition. Hinduism, with its numerous deities, assigns specific roles to various gods and goddesses, some of whom are associated with the expulsion of negative energies. Deities like Hanuman, a central figure in the epic Ramayana, and Shiva, the destroyer of evil, are invoked for their protective and exorcistic qualities. The belief in divine intervention is integral to Hindu exorcism, where practitioners seek the assistance of these deities to rid individuals or spaces of malevolent forces. Hindu exorcism rituals are diverse and draw upon a rich tapestry of traditions. The recitation of specific mantras, known as mantra shastra, is a common practice, often accompanied by the use of sacred substances such as holy ash, water, or herbs. Tantric rituals, which involve the harnessing of cosmic energies, are also employed in certain exorcism ceremonies. The diversity of rituals within Hinduism reflects the adaptability of the tradition in addressing spiritual afflictions. As we explore the exorcism practices within Hinduism, it becomes evident that the approach is not only rooted in ancient scriptures, but has evolved over time to incorporate regional variations and cultural nuances. Hindu exorcism stands as a testament to the dynamic nature of religious practices within this vast and diverse tradition. The exploration of exorcism across Christianity, Islam, and Hinduism uncovers shared beliefs in supernatural entities and the necessity for spiritual cleansing, despite variations in methods and theological foundations. Christianity reiterates clergy authority and structured rituals, Islam values Quranic recitations and trained practitioners, and Hinduism embraces diverse deities and rituals, reflecting the diversity within each tradition. Cultural and regional factors significantly shape exorcism rituals, with local customs and indigenous practices intertwining with religious doctrines. This cross-cultural influence adds complexity to the comprehension of exorcism as a universal phenomenon. Despite nuanced differences, a common belief in the supernatural and the need for spiritual cleansing unites these religions. Whether seeking deliverance in Christianity, protection through Quranic verses in Islam, or purification through deities in Hinduism, the shared understanding reinforces the universal human quest for spiritual well-being, healing, and protection. In the contemporary era, exorcism persists within religious practices, adapting to the influence of technology and globalization. Increased awareness and exposure to diverse religious traditions have led believers of various faiths to turn to exorcism for spiritual healing and protection amid life's challenges. The ongoing presence of exorcism in modern religious practices attests to its enduring significance. As the world becomes more interconnected, interfaith dialogue, including discussions on exorcism, gains prominence. Representatives from different religious traditions engage in conversations, fostering understanding and respect for varied beliefs about spiritual healing and protection. However, the practice of exorcism is not without controversies, with critics raising concerns about potential abuse, psychological impact, and the intersection of religious practices with mental health. Balancing the respect for religious freedoms and ensuring the well-being of individuals undergoing exorcism sparks debates, prompting reflection on the ethical considerations surrounding spiritual practices in today's world. In conclusion, the journey through the history of exorcism in Christianity, Islam, and Hinduism unveils a tapestry of beliefs, rituals, and practices that have shaped the spiritual landscapes of diverse cultures. Despite the differences in approach, there's an enduring significance to exorcism across these three major religions. The quest for spiritual purity, the acknowledgement of the supernatural, and the universal need for protection and cleansing tie these traditions together in a fascinating exploration of the human experience. As we wrap up this enlightening journey, I encourage you to delve deeper into the rich tapestry of religious practices, to seek understanding and appreciation for the diverse ways in which humanity grapples with the mysteries of the spiritual realm. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time, may your explorations into the realms of faith and spirituality be both enlightening and enriching.